What is up, everybody? I am Mikey P. Mike Pendleton here, riding solo once again on this late Sunday afternoon, early evening, depending on where you are in the U.S. If you're just joining us for the first time, this is the Coaching Company YouTube channel. Make sure to like this video if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe, become a premium member, and also hit that alert notification button so you always know when we are live. A lot to get to tonight in the NFL. I really don't even know where to start. We've had some bad beats. We've had some crazy covers. We have had possibly some coaches with the nail in their coffin as of tonight. So let's start around the league as we look ahead to Sunday Night Football. Before we do that, let's look at these late afternoon games. The biggest upset, I believe, of the day, the Tennessee Titans take down the Arizona Cardinals. And you loyal listeners who have watched myself, watched weekday wagers, watched the Coaching Company morning show, watched Coach and I on these Sunday evening shows, you have heard about the Arizona Cardinals and their bad beats, and even worse, their bad losses. I don't think it gets any worse than what we saw tonight. The Arizona Cardinals truly allowing the Tennessee Titans to just rip the game away from them. 16 points unanswered in the fourth quarter. And when you look at this game and you look at where it went wrong, it's going to be a tale as old as time in the National Football League. Hold the damn ball. Amari DeMarcado crossing the goal line, and as he gets past the goal, before he gets past the goal line, on a 70-plus yard touchdown, he drops the football. It was the beginning of the end for the Arizona Cardinals, who have now lost 3 games at the end of the game to the San Francisco 49ers, Seattle Seahawks, and now the Tennessee Titans, who get off their winless streak and now have their first win of the season. Cam Ward delivered in that final drive, a drive that many people were questioning if he could lead this Titans team down the field. He made a few beautiful throws, and the Titans get their first win of the season. If you're the Arizona Cardinals, if you're head coach Jonathan Gannon, where do you go from here? Where do you go from here? Because you lose to the Tennessee Titans and you give up 16 points in the fourth quarter, and it's your own player who started it all because he didn't hold on to the ball crossing the goal line. That's undisciplined. That's bad clock management. All of it wrapped up together for the Titans' first win of the season. Elsewhere in the late afternoon games, the Detroit Lions and Cincinnati Bengals. Jake Browning showed a little bit of what he could do, and I'm not referring to the 3 interceptions that he threw. In fact, Jake Browning brought his team within a puncher's chance, but that's about all it was. 251 yards, 3 touchdowns, but as I mentioned, 3 interceptions as well. A homecoming for Lions running back David Montgomery, who is from Cincinnati. What a game for him. He gets a touchdown pass, and he rushes. He's the team's leading rusher with 65 yards and a rushing touchdown. So David Montgomery, 1 rushing touchdown, 1 passing touchdown. Don't know if you had that prop anywhere. If you did, good for you. The Lions improve while the Bengals continue to free fall. The Lions now 4-1, sitting atop one of the best teams in the NFC. We'll look at another upset that happened there in just a moment. But when you start to look at the rest of the late afternoon slate, how about the Chargers losing to the New York Giants last week? Come back home. They're taking on Jaden Daniels, who returns for the Washington Commanders. And the Commanders, very similar to the Titans, rallied from an early deficit, and the Commanders get the victory, really just a one-sided victory in the second half, 27-10. The Commanders over the Chargers. Jaden Daniels, 231 yards, 1 touchdown, only took 1 sack, quarterback rating of a solid 100. So the Commanders now hand the Chargers their second loss. And now, if you are there as a fan of the Denver Broncos or Kansas City Chiefs, the Chargers do have a lead in the division, but when you drop two straight, you start to open up the door for a big race moving forward in the second half of the season. But we're not even through the first half of the regular season. Bill, the rookie running back for the Washington Commanders, yeah, I think he's running away, no pun intended, with the starting running back job. 14 carries, 111 yards, 2 touchdowns on the ground for Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt in Washington. Deebo Samuel stepped up with no Terry McLaurin, 8 receptions, 96 yards, and a touchdown. But Justin Herbert, where has it all gone? 4 more sacks on the season. He throws a pick, only 166 yards, 1 touchdown. What a awful performance for Justin Herbert, who has now really struggled after coming out of the gates this season, just on fire. I mean, he had the 300-yard games in his first 3 games, and now he's barely or came under 200 passing yards, 203 against the Giants, 166 against the Commanders. The Chargers dealing with injuries on their offensive line. They've got to get it right to keep their franchise guy upright. Elsewhere, the best game of the day. By the way, thank you to everyone in the chat queen, Kimberly and Kevin Walls. Kimberly makes a great point. Jake Browning had the same amount of interceptions as Jamar Chase had tackles with 3. And talking about the AFC West, Kevin Walls, the division, thanks them. It's going to be quite a battle in the AFC West now. I think the Chargers have opened the door. If you guys had any good plays, any cash tickets, any bad beats, let's talk about them. Put them in the chat, and we'll get to, I'll get to everything as we go around the National Football League. But let's talk about the biggest game of the afternoon. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the 4-1 Buccaneers, go to Seattle after losing to the Philadelphia Eagles at home and bounce back in a big way. How about Baker Mayfield? 379 yards, 2 touchdowns, only took 1 sack, but Sam Darnold right there with him. 341 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 pick, no sacks. Both these guys had a quarterback rating over 130. A tip of the cap to the 2 gunslingers for Tampa Bay and Seattle, but it was that costly interception for Sam Darnold, picked off by Levante David late in the game. Levante David gets the ball back for the Buccaneers in Seattle territory. He goes down, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers go down the field. They kick the game-winning field goal. This is the type of game a lot of people were expecting, and it's the type of game that delivered. Rachaad White, 2 touchdowns on the ground, 41 yards. Kenneth Walker, his best game of the season, 86 yards. Zach Charbonnet punched in a touchdown, but look at the wide receivers. Guys, it is time to stop sleeping on Emeka Egbuka. I'm sure you are not, but he is now a bona fide rookie superstar in the NFL for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 7 catches, 163 yards, and 1 touchdown. On the other side, you had Jackson Smith and Jigba with 8 catches, 132 yards, and 1 touchdown. Both these franchises are led by quarterbacks who were very much doubted throughout their career, who have very much now found themselves in the right home in their respective franchises. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Baker Mayfield, they've been doing it for some time. Sam Darnold has earned his contract with the Seattle Seahawks, and now he's taken the Seahawks into these big games. The Seahawks now 3-2 on the season, 1-2 at home. So you want to get that right there in Seattle. But it was an amazing game. You knew it was going to be an amazing game, and it delivered. Elsewhere in the league, I don't even know where to start. Should we start across the pond with the Cleveland Browns and Minnesota Vikings? Just when it looked like the Browns could do it behind Dylan Gabriel, the Browns were the Browns. And the Vikings were led by Carson Wentz, who threw for just over 230 yards and 1 touchdown. Dylan Gabriel making his NFL starting debut, throws for 190 yards and 2 touchdowns. One big thing in this game, Jordan Addison was benched from this game early, did not play in the first quarter. And then he comes out with the game-winning touchdown. A lot of credit was given to Carson Wentz from head coach Kevin O'Connell and after the game in the locker room. It's a little interesting to see that they're not praising Jordan Addison. This is a guy who, listen, he did the crime. He missed a walkthrough during the week, so he did not play. He did the crime, he did the time, and then he won the game. I feel like at some point you kind of just let bygones be bygones. Without Jordan Addison, you don't win that game. So a little interesting move there by Kevin O'Connell to not acknowledge Jordan Anderson, but rather Carson Wentz. But without Wentz, there's no Addison, and vice versa. Either way, the Vikings are 3-2 as the Browns are 1-4. It's going to be nice for the Vikings to get back to the States after 2 straight weeks of international games. I'm not going to spend much time on this. I am simply going to say the Indianapolis Colts continue to look good. 4-1 with a 40-6 win over the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, when I look at some of the games we saw in the early window, in the 12 o'clock windows here, local time, you had Anthony Richardson play. You had Davis Mills play for the Houston Texans. I don't think these guys ever thought they were getting on the field this year. And alas, here we are in blowout victories for the Colts, for the Texans over the Ravens, who just look god-awful with no Lamar Jackson. Texans take down the Baltimore Ravens 44-10. And as I mentioned, the Colts 40-6. I think there really needs to be a conversation about Geno Smith and the Las Vegas Raiders. Pete Carroll, what are you doing, Pete Carroll? Is this where you wanted to be? Is this what you came back for? Now, Aiden O'Connell is on injured reserve. They have Kenny Pickett, and I'm not saying it's time to bench Geno Smith. I'm not saying it's time to blow it all up and trade Jacoby Myers. But at this point, you're not even putting up a fighting chance. You are laying down and getting rolled over. I know the Chicago Bears had a win over them last week by a miracle. The Raiders look awful. And right now, if I'm Geno Smith, if I'm Pete Carroll, I'm really wondering if this change of scenery was everything I truly wanted. You know what they say about the grass is always greener? Not exactly. So, Raiders are now 1-4. One funny note I saw in this game, and I understand he's a rookie. I understand he's their prized possession on offense. But with the Colts blowing out the Raiders, Las Vegas opted to leave in quarterback Geno Smith, the wide receivers. Ashton Genty was pulled from this game and put into bubble wrap, put onto the side of the bench. Pete Carroll was basically like, if you're not Ashton Genty and you're not Brock Bowers, who did not play in this game, so Genty and Bowers were off the field. Everybody else, you're fighting for your job, for your life. I don't know what they're doing there in Las Vegas, but a little interesting to see everyone except Ashton Genty out on the field. Looking over to the chat, Kevin Walls joining us, Nonsense McGee joining us, DG joining us, and All a Brother Knows podcast joining us as well. The Bucks game was insane. The Cardinals game was insane. And you mentioned it there. The Eagles game was insane. How about the Denver Broncos? If you listen to the Sunday morning show, you heard Raphael said this is a short week for the Broncos coming off a Monday Night Football game in which they defeated the Cincinnati Bengals. To go into Philly, it's going to be extremely hard. It's going to be a rough one. And Bo Nix, I don't know how Raphael is not a Bo Lever times 1,000 now, because Bo Nix goes on the road. Sean Payton shows his coaching cojones, and the Broncos get the 21-17 victory on the road in Philadelphia, handing the Eagles their first loss of the season. The Eagles allowed 18 unanswered points in the fourth quarter. Bo Nix, 242 yards and a touchdown. Here's the big thing. I've been saying it this entire time. When you look at Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos. It is all going to be on how many mistakes he makes. That defense is phenomenal. And I know they were talking about it on the broadcast, but if you don't know the name Nick Bonito, you do not know who one of the best defensive players in the league is. This man had 4 tackles, 2.5 sacks on the game. He single-handedly kept Denver in this game. But when you look at how good the Broncos defense is, you have to look at, does Bo Nix do just enough to get them over the hump? And he did that early on Sunday in Philadelphia. Now, the biggest talking point of the day, well, in Philly, that was the only A.J. Brown. He wanted the ball more. He got 5 catches on 8 targets, but only 43 yards. So the narrative on A.J. Brown will continue. Is he unhappy? Is he going to be traded? What is going to happen with A.J. Brown and the Philadelphia Eagles? I don't know. I don't think the world is crashing. The ceiling is falling on Philly and A.J. Brown, but it's something to look at. I had called on Devonta Smith to step up. If you're going to see A.J. Brown complaining, if you're a franchise, you want to see what your future could be without A.J. Brown. And Devonta Smith today, 8 receptions, 114 yards. He did not get into the end zone, but Saquon Barkley did. 47-yard touchdown reception for Saquon Barkley. Elsewhere, the Cowboys take down the winless New York Jets. They are now 0-5 on the season. The last time the Jets started 0-5, Aaron Glenn, Adam Gase, was the head coach, and they finished 2-14. So Aaron Glenn falling in line with Adam Gase. Little tongue twister there for you. I don't know. I don't know what the Jets are going to do. Justin Fields is not the answer there. Their defense was bad. The Cowboys just looked good. Jake Ferguson was on fire for Dak Prescott. Javonte Williams, I continue to be amazed by this guy. One of the most underrated free agent signings of this past offseason. Javonte Williams, 135 yards on the ground, 1 touchdown on just 16 carries. Dak Prescott, statistically one of the greatest quarterbacks in Dallas Cowboys history, adds to that history today. He threw for 237 yards and 4 touchdowns. Jerry Jones wanted to make a point and put his faith and trust into Dak as the leader of this team. And now the Cowboys sit at 2-1 on the season. Now looking at the other New York team, I couldn't believe it. I was drinking the Kool-Aid. I was all in on Jackson Dart and Cam Skattebo. And the New York Football Giants go down to New Orleans. And for the first time, this is no joke, for the first time since 1998, a quarterback drafted by the New Orleans Saints won them a game. Think about that. We are in the year 2025. The first drafted quarterback by the New Orleans Saints to win a game since 1998. Spencer Rattler got it done. 225 yards, 1 touchdown, was not sacked. The Giants defense, as good as they've been in the beginning parts of this season, they did not get their hands at all on Spencer Rattler. I mean, I don't even think his jersey had any dirt on it. Kendry Miller was the Saints' leading rusher. Rashid Shaheed, 114 yards and a touchdown on an 87-yard touchdown catch. The speedster down in New Orleans. But the big takeaway here, led by Jackson Dart, led by Cam Skattebo, also cost the New York Giants. Dart had 2 interceptions. He lost a fumble. 3 lost fumbles by the Giants. 2 picks thrown by Jackson Dart. Turnovers. Jackson Dart lost a fumble and the 2 picks. Cam Skattebo had a fumble and Darius Slayton had a fumble. 5 turnovers. You're never going to win. Before I continue on here, just want to put a reminder out there that DG and the guys from Weekday Wagers will be going live tonight at halftime. It is Sunday Night Football. You've got the Bills and the Patriots to close out our Sunday slate of games. So make sure to have that alert notification button pressed so you get notified and get ready to join DG and the crew tonight at halftime. If you are so inclined, if you followed any of our good bets, or if you just want to yell at us, feel free to pop it in the chat. You could send us a super sticker. You can become a premium member, all right there on the channel as well. When you are a premium member, you get more podcasts, emergency podcasts. You get a few extra episodes throughout the week following the conclusion of the Coach and Company morning show. Plenty of exclusives and more best bets for you premium members. Let's look elsewhere around the league as before we look ahead to the Sunday night game. The Dolphins and the Panthers, the other big upset of the game. And I'm surprised. I will say this. I am surprised right now that we're not hearing more chitter chatter following the Panthers, who were down early in this game. They come storming back in the fourth quarter. They win the game, and the Miami Dolphins are now 1-4. And I'm curious when Mike McDaniel's key will stop working in Miami. Now, I know it's easy to sit here and say the Dolphins are beat up. Tyreek Hill is gone. But this team just continues to blow my mind week after week after week after week. Tua, 256 yards, 3 touchdowns. Listen, when you have a game like that, you should win. 256 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. You should win. But Devon Achane, 10 carries, 16 yards. Something's got to give. Mike McDaniel was called in to be this offensive guru, and then you don't even have a running game in Miami. Ollie Gordon, 3 carries for -2 yards. As a team, the Dolphins rushed for 19 yards. Meanwhile, on the other side, Bryce Young, who still has some flaws in his game, I will say that much. He throws for 198 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, but the day belonged to Rico Dwaddle. Yes, Rico, 23 carries, 206 yards, and a touchdown, a long of 53. And Ted McMillan, the outstanding rookie for the Panthers, he led the way for the receiving game, 6 catches, 73 yards on 8 targets. So there are starting to be weapons. Chuba Hubbard did not play in this game. Rico stepped up with a 200-yard performance. When you look at the Miami side, Jalen Waddle, he's going to need some help because he had 6 catches for 110 yards and a touchdown. Darren Waller also had a touchdown. That's 2 straight weeks for Darren Waller. Devon Achane, those were your 3 leading receivers. It's not easy to replace Tyreek Hill, but someone's got to step up. You thought it would be Malik Washington. He had 4 catches for 0 yards. I don't even know how that is possible, but it is. The Dolphins really need to look within. And I would be surprised if Jonathan Gannon and Mike McDaniel, that is the Dolphins head coach and the Arizona Cardinals head coach, I don't know if they're going to keep their jobs halfway through the season. We're 5 weeks in, and I believe these 2 coaches have set themselves up to get fired. Before we move any further, Kevin Walls, thank you so much. A very, very kind super sticker. I appreciate the compliment. Hey, I would love to cover the Cowboys. I would love to cover every team in the NFL. I, as you can see, watch every single game thanks to the Sunday Ticket. It has been quite the Sunday. I want to hear what you guys think before I move on to the Sunday night game. Play a little best bets for you all. What do you think the Cardinals and Dolphins should do? Do you think either of them should fire their head coach? Do you think it's too early? Am I just a mean guy? Am I wrong for wanting these coaches to be fired? Jonathan Gannon, you've lost 3 games on the final play of the game, and you lost to the Tennessee Titans. I feel like that pounding noise you hear should be the nail in the coffin. But hey, I'm not going to sit here and say I told you guys so. The Call of Duty new beta version came out, so Kyler Murray could have been a little distracted coming into today's game. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I don't want to push any buttons, but if you know, you know. When it comes to Call of Duty and Kyler Murray, it ain't pretty. So let me know. Nonsense McGee says Mike McDaniel should have been fired yesterday. Yeah, that's a great point. Kimberly says, "Oh, where is Raphael when we need him? Would love to know what the odds are to say who the favorite is to be kicked to the curb first." Kevin Walls says Mike McDonald is my best bet. Did you guys have any best bets? I unfortunately did not. We're not going to talk about those. I had the Giants on the money line. I had Derrick Henry 20 or more rushing attempts. He had 15. I'm not even going to go on a Derrick Henry rant. It's not even worth it. It really is. So 44 yards rushing. I mean, the only thing I can sit here and say, I'm not even going to sit here and say, oh, it's Lamar Jackson, Lamar being hurt this team. No, Derrick Henry has hurt this team time and time again. We are now 5 weeks in, and he's got 317 rushing yards. He has not had a game over 60 rushing yards since week 1 when he had 169. A lot of his performance this year was in the week 1 loss to the Buffalo Bills when he scored 2 touchdowns and ran for 169 yards. Guys, I'll say it. I'll say it right here, right now. There is one person who has ever defied Father Time. Father Time's undefeated except against Tom Brady. Derrick Henry, welcome to Father Time. We were all praising him for the season he had and Saquon Barkley for the season he had. Derrick Henry gets the contract extension. And I don't know. I don't know if Baltimore's going to regret it. But after 5 weeks, the early returns have not been great. Nonsense McGee on baseball said, George Springer of the Toronto Blue Jays, dinger, biggest hit for me thus far, plus 2 units. Lots of little hits thanks to JTS, Marky Motto, and the gang over at Justice Stat Sports. Always getting you right. So appreciate everyone coming together, whether it's DG and the crew, the JTS crew, or the crew here on the morning side, late Sunday afternoon side. Coach, I believe, will be back with me next Sunday evening. Obviously, he will be here starting Monday morning on the Coach and Company Morning Show. You'll also have Coach and Bro. As always, you'll have weekday wagers throughout the week. But before I get out of here, let's look at the Patriots and Bills, because right now, I can't be surprised about what else could go on this Sunday night game. We've seen so many surprises, as we do each and every Sunday. So let's take a look at some of the plays we have here, courtesy of the good folks over at BetMGM. The Bills minus 450. They're a minus 8 on the spread. The total over 49.5 is a minus 110. Same thing on the under. I love the over here. I believe whether it's just a one-sided affair or not, I think Buffalo could put up 42 points by themselves. So all you would need is 8 points from New England. I think Buffalo could put 50 up on the New England Patriots. So I like the overs in this game. And when you start to look at who your biggest contributors are, I think it's going to be a tale of 2 different sides of offense here in New England. I think it's going to come down to Drake May. His number now for passing yards, 218.5. My eyes are bad even with 4 of them. 218.5 for Drake May at a minus 115. I believe the Patriots are going to have to throw the ball all over the yard, as they say, no matter what. It's not even if it's a close game, but if it's a blowout, Drake May is going to have to throw this ball all night long. So give me the over on Drake May. And Josh Allen in this game, the Bills quarterback. This one, I say proceed with caution. It's only 228.5, but as we all know, Josh Allen, he gets it done with his legs. He gets it done with his arm. But with the way these two teams are constructed, I don't know if we see Josh Allen all game long. Another interesting one to look at, Drake May, 252.5 passing and rushing. That might be my favorite play. The over, that's over 252.5 at a minus 115. That might be my favorite play of the entire game. I think a lot of people are going to see what Drake May can do. Again, he was one of the top quarterbacks to come out of last year's class with Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix, that guy Caleb Williams, Michael Penix. So a lot of these second-year quarterbacks starting to come around. And if you guys know my Chicago fandom, it was hard to not mention Caleb Williams first. So Drake May, part of a loaded quarterback class last year, not so much this year. But I think we'll see what Drake May could be for the New England Patriots. And I love the over. I love the over on his passing and rushing yards. And on the Buffalo side, I don't want to take low-hanging fruit, guys, but I don't see why not. Give me James Cook over 72.5 rushing yards. It is a little juicy, minus 130. I believe the juice is worth the squeeze on this one. I would even look at James Cook for rushing and receiving yards. He is at 122.5. That's a lot. That is a lot, but I like it. Actually, I messed that up. He is at 90.5. Clicked on the wrong thing. Minus 135 at 90.5. So this is where you want to start looking at your alt lines here for James Cook. I believe this will be a James Cook-led game. I believe Buffalo can put up a load of points. I believe we will truly see a James Cook offensive showing against the New England Patriots. Nonsense. I'm going to plug this here for you. He says, play the super nonsense bet of the night. Buffalo money line. Drake May 200 plus passing yards. Stephon Diggs 40 receiving yards. Khalil Shakir 30 receiving yards. James Cook 70 rushing yards. Cook 15 rushes. And Cook 2 receptions for a plus 675. Thank you, Nonsense, for that. The super nonsense bet of the night. Hey, that sounds good. That sounds good, Nonsense. I think I love that. I think I love that a lot moving forward. Thank you to Nonsense. Thank you to Kevin. Thank you to Kimberly, everybody who hangs out with us each and every day. That is going to do it for yours truly. I am Mike Pendleton. I want to thank all of you who stopped in, shared your comments, shared your love. As always, supported the brand. Don't forget, the night is not over here on the Coach and Company brand. DG and the Weekday Wagers crew go live at halftime of the Sunday Night Football game. It's the Patriots and it's the Buffalo Bills on Sunday Night Football. DG and the crew will have you at halftime. Until then, we will have more and more action. We will see you guys Monday morning for the Coach and Company morning show live on Stadium Bally Sports Live. Don't forget, we'll also have the Coach and Bro show weekday wagers throughout the week. And then, as always, you'll have Off the Ropes with Coach himself on channel 156 Pro Wrestling 2 to 4 Eastern on SiriusXM. I am Mikey P. Thank you to everyone who joined us, Kevin, Kimberly, Nonsense, DG, and all of you who may have stopped in for the first time. Make sure to become a premium member for more exclusive shows. The sports schedule's picking up, so our emergency nighttime shows will be as well. We will see you guys at halftime right here on the brand. And for everyone else, we will see you Monday morning on the Coaching Company show. Take care.